Matthew chapter 16, verse 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Many of these so-called celebrities sign big contracts, which is a bond to what's written. Once in, you are being controlled on what to say, what to do, and what to wear, etc. Now ask yourself, even though they may have the money and fame, but who's more of a slave? In the public eye, it appears to be a good life, but not so behind the scenes. Ecclesiasticus chapter 20, verse 29. Presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 4 through 10. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof comes envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw yourself. But godliness will contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Let's repeat that. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. Verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So how did Kanye go from this?
Meanwhile, the DEA teamed up with the CCA. They try and lock niggas up. They try and make new states. I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye. Chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
And I basically know now we get racially profiled, pumped up and hosed down, pimped up and hoed down. I feel the pain of my city wherever I go. 314 soldiers died in Iraq. 509 died in Chicago. I get down for my grandfather who took my mama, made her sit in that seat where white folks ain't want us to eat. At the tender age of 6, she was arrested for the sit-ins. And with that in my blood, I was born to be different.
To this.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
If I would have voted, I would have voted on Trump.
You see these towns, and when you see these thugs being thrown into the back of a paddy wagon, you just see them thrown in, rough. I said, please don't be too nice.
Like, my yay, George Bush don't care about black people, cannot in any way, this dude has to like diss Trump.
I know Obama was 7 cents, but ever since Trump won, it proved that I could be president.
Half the shit Trump does, I don't agree with.
What half do you agree with?
Just the ability to do what no one said you could do, to do the impossible.
Make America great again, had a negative perception. I took it, wore it, rocked it, gave it a new direction. Added empathy, caring, love, and affection. And y'all simply questioning my method.
Get genocide and slavery, we should just try and forget. And all the free thought shit, find a better defense. But if you ain't just stuck in their way, we can leave it at that. Fuck.
By me knowing him, He was always conscious on our struggle as a people due to his upbringing, just like I was. And he was never naive to what's going on.
We grew up very aware of racism in this country, and I was even arrested at the tender age of 6 for sitting in, demonstrating at a lunch counter in Oklahoma City.
I came from a military family. By the time I got to college, I joined the Black Panther Party.
We say power to the people.
The political activity was all about making sure that whatever was not just became just.
Kanye's mom and dad played a huge role in molding Kanye.
While in grammar school, we gravitated towards each other because of the same interests, whether it was hip-hop, dance, or just our personality. And at that time, we liked to dance. So we formed a dance group for our school talent show.
Kanye and I moved to the south side of Chicago. He went to school out of the neighborhood. It was a magnet school, humanities and the arts.
Only those that applied and were accepted.
In 1988, it was 5th grade.
Kanye walked into my classroom and walked up to me and told me that he wanted to be on a talent show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Quadro.
The name of the group was the Quadro Posse. Stepping was the craze at the time. So he and 3 other friends got together.
He was like flipping people over. Sweep your leg, they jump up and all that.
And at the end, it was pandemonium.
They won the talent show. He's always been a ham, not a shy bone in his body.
After graduating and moving on to different high schools, we lost touch, but got back in touch while at Chicago State University. Even though we didn't have classes together, we would meet up in between classes or for lunch. Now during this time, he would kick his best rhymes to me as if I was an A&R, because he knew how much I love hip-hop. Him being a Jay-Z fan and me being a Nas fan, we would always debate on who's better lyrically. While still at Chi State, I no longer saw him up there, but remember when he said he would drop out to pursue his dream. Fast forward, ran into him a year later at Borders off 95th Street. For those that's from Chicago know which Borders I'm talking about. He invited me to his crib, which was down the street. There is where I found out he was producing for different artists. Being amazed with platinum and gold plaques on his wall, he told me, "You helped influence me." I'm like, "What?" He said, "When you told me not to drop out of college, you was the main one telling me not to, cause I was going to disappoint my mom. And what if it doesn't work?" Fast forward, a year later, Kanye is on MTV TRL with Jay-Z performing. I was like, wow, this dude made it to someone he looked up to. One thing I could say about Kanye, he always had that drive in proving people wrong. Some would say he's cocky, arrogant, but I would say self-confident until he ran into that big money. Then his ego got in the way. Feeling like he's on top of the world due to fans idol worshiping him, he now feels like he's God, having the God complex, and naming himself Jesus. And to top it off, he came out with his own Bible. He's one of the sons of Israel, which is the chosen, who's supposed to be ruling like we're God anyway. But Psalms chapter 82, verse 5 through 7. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princesses.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
He's right. Slavery was a choice as a nation of people. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Yahweh your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth. But there's a stipulation. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, did we follow the Most High? Were we obedient or were we disobedient? Well, we know we've been disobedient. We've been in the Egyptian captivity. After that, the Assyrian captivity. Then the Babylonian captivity. Then the Medes and Persians captivity. Then the Grecian captivity. And now the Roman captivity. But some may not be convinced that we are in captivity. Baruch chapter 3, verse 8 through 14. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where you have scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. So this is why he scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our Elohim. Hear, Yashra Allah, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that you are in your enemy's land, that you are waxing old in a strange country, that you are defiled with the dead, that you are counted with them that go down into the grave. You has forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if you had walked in the way of Elohim, you should have dwelled in peace forever. Learn where wisdom is, where is strength, where is understanding, that you may know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13 and 14. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns, that can hold no water. Verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Like I said, we've been in captivity for so long under every ruler. Verse 14 again. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Isaiah chapter 1, verse 2 through 4. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel do not know. My people do not consider. We don't even consider who puts the breath of life in our nostrils, or the Spirit of God in our nostrils. We don't even consider why the things are going on with this people. We don't even consider why we are placed under a curse. We don't even consider why we came over to another land in slave ships. We don't even consider to pay homage to our true power. Verse 4. All sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Now let's go back to Psalms chapter 82, verse 8. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations. I'm going to repeat that. What's going to happen when we come back to our true powers, when we start following the laws, statutes, and commandments? And this is one of the reasons why they don't want us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Because verse 8, arise, O God, judge the earth, for you shall inherit all nations.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
He also said, enslaved for 400 years, and it was all y'all? There were plenty of slave revolts, but they were unsuccessful as a nation. Why? Leviticus chapter 26, verse 36 through 38. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee, as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursue. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursue. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. When you surround yourself with devils and move the ones from your circle that keep you grounded, you can't tell him nothing. He needs to remove himself from that circle and repent, fast, and pray, and be willing to risk everything before it's too late. Who knows what kind of mind control they have on Ye? And with all this comes pride. 2nd Esdras chapter 8 verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 12 and 13. The beginning of pride is when one departs from Elohim, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that has it shall pour out abomination. And therefore Yahweh brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. Yea has a voice that can speak across the world, which shows the power of the tongue. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. When Ye made those comments, people were furious. But my thing is, who cares about what he says? Will what he say have an impact on your life? No. While people worried about what he said, we are under attack spiritually and physically. Discriminations, lynchings.
What the fuck? This nigga just went out bad. On the west side.
Bible banning in China.
According to a report by the New York Times on Thursday, the Chinese government has banned all online sales of the Christian Bible. Gizmodo reports that China's biggest online retailers have already stopped offering the book, and sales are now only permitted at official church bookstores in China. The Times report suggests that the recent move shows President Xi Jinping's efforts to promote traditional values and regulate the influence of both Christianity and the West. The Bible is the only holy text currently banned from being sold online.
And they're trying to pass a law in California.
Therapeutically legitimate methods for addressing the concerns of persons who are questioning or confused about their sexual orientation without resorting to conversion therapy.
The Trevor Project is pleased to co-sponsor AB 2943, which, as said, codifies and makes explicit in California law that efforts to change a person's sexual orientation is a fraudulent business practice under the Consumer Legal Remedies Act.
World War III is kicking off. But we care about what Kanye said, right? Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. I want to give all praises to the Most High Allah, Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. Shalom.